The security concourse of Helios transit ring never slept. Thousands of beings from dozens of worlds moved through its lanes every hour, guided by holographic arrows and barking multilingual announcements. Officer Kavran Dal, a six-limbed Ketheri with copper-toned armor plates, had been stationed there for nearly 3 cycles. He prided himself on efficiency. Scan. Approve. Move on. By the time the human stepped forward, Kavran had processed 1,126 travelers without incident. The man looked unimportant. Late middle-aged by human standards. Gray hair cropped short. A creased leather jacket that clearly predated modern synth fabric. No visible cybernetics. No entourage. He carried a small travel case and waited patiently, eyes calm, posture relaxed. Identification, Kavran said automatically. The man slid over his documents. Name, Elias Ward. Occupation, civilian logistics consultant. Origin, Earth, Pacific Zone. Nothing flagged. Nothing unusual. Place your arm on the scanner. Elias rolled up his sleeve. That's when Kavran saw the tattoo. It was simple. Black ink. A symbol unfamiliar to galactic databases, an angular emblem resembling a broken circle intersected by a vertical line. Beneath it, a string of numbers in an obsolete human format. Primitive. Old. Manual ink. The scanner activated. For exactly 0.7 seconds, everything worked. Then every screen in the concourse went black. Emergency sirens wailed as red warning glyphs flooded Kavran's neural HUD. Power surged. Backup processors failed one after another. Even the council-grade quantum archive froze, something Kavran had never seen in his career. Then text appeared across every remaining display. Military record, classified. Clearance level, extinct. Kavran's mandibles clicked involuntarily. That designation didn't exist. Behind him, travelers froze. Security drones lifted from their charging racks. A dozen armed officers converged on the checkpoint in seconds. Elias calmly pulled his sleeve back down. Sorry, he said mildly. That happens sometimes. The station supervisor arrived moments later, flanked by armed peacekeepers. What did you do? She demanded. Elias shrugged. Nothing I haven't done before. Kavran stared at the human, no panic, no confusion. Just quiet patience. Whatever that tattoo meant, it wasn't just history. It was a warning. They escorted Elias Ward to a council-level interrogation chamber, sealed and shielded against data corruption. Commander Rexa Val, a towering Vornax officer, took charge. Her species specialized in conflict resolution, and war. Your presence caused a complete failure of our security architecture, she said. Explain. Elias sat comfortably, folding his hands. Your systems weren't built to recognize what they found. Technicians worked furiously behind the glass, reconstructing fragments of the corrupted scan. One finally spoke. Commander, the record references a human military classification predating council integration. How old? Rexa asked. The technician hesitated. Over 2 centuries. Elias nodded. Sounds right. A human analyst nearby stiffened. Sir, that would make you at least 240 years old. 248, Elias corrected. Depends how you count the cryo years. Silence filled the room. Rexa leaned forward. Humans do not live that long. Elias met her gaze. Most don't. Recovered data flickered onto the central display. Conflict designation, pre-integration hostilities. Galactic status, suppressed. Participant clearance, extinction level. What is extinction clearance? Rexa asked quietly. Elias exhaled. A category you created when you realized some wars shouldn't be remembered. He explained slowly. Humanity's first encounter with the galaxy hadn't been peaceful. It began as an evaluation. Probes. Disruptions. Simulated disasters meant to test resilience. Earth responded with everything it had. They didn't retreat. They adapted. They counterattacked. And when you realized, Elias said, that we don't respond well to being tested, you panicked. Rex's voice was low. You're saying the Council erased its own records? Yes, Elias replied. Because remembering what humans did when cornered made you uncomfortable. A pause. And you? She asked. Elias tapped the tattoo. I was part of the group that convinced you never to try again. A junior human officer finally spoke. What happened to the others? Elias's eyes softened. There were 12 of us. He described boarding a council flagship during the final days of the conflict. Not soldiers by galactic standards, engineers, medics, logistics officers. People who learned fast and refused to quit. We weren't supposed to win, Elias said. We were supposed to die quietly. They didn't. They disabled systems the galaxy believed untouchable. They forced negotiations not through dominance, but refusal to surrender. And after? Rexa asked. Elias smiled faintly. We made a promise. That we'd stay alive long enough to make sure no one ever tested humanity like that again. The room was silent. Rexa straightened. Why are you here now? Elias stood, adjusting his jacket. My grandson is being sworn into station command tomorrow. A beat. I'm not missing it. Rexa studied him for a long moment. Then she nodded. Release him. As Elias walked back through the concourse, something strange happened. Military personnel of every species paused. Some placed hands to armor plates. Others inclined their heads. They didn't know his name. But they knew what he represented. Kavrin watched Elias disappear into the civilian corridors. Commander, he asked quietly, what exactly is he? Rexa answered without looking away. He's a reminder. She accessed a sealed council archive, one line still visible before it vanished again. Do not provoke. Do not test. Do not corner. Humanity had joined the galaxy not because it was strongest, but because it proved something far more dangerous. That when pushed to extinction, humans didn't beg. They adapted. They endured. And they made sure no one ever forgot. Even when the records were erased.